though few people could say from which direction. All three daughters having married and dispersed, Jolie's time to be fabulous had arrived. After long negotiation with Vilmos over furniture, oriental rugs, gewgaws, and cash settlements, she obtained the divorce she had coveted since her wedding day. From that time forward, in the typical Alice in Wonderland trajectory of Gabor lives, Jolie and Vilmos became inseparable. After the divorce, she said, we not only had lunch together, but Vilmos would take me to the theater, and he would take me to dinner, and then he would escort me home, and sometimes we would even sleep together. I was happy with him for the first time. In 1941, Magda took a job as secretary to Carlos Sampaio Garrido, the Portuguese ambassador to Hungary. Appointed in 1939, he served until 1944. After Pearl Harbor, when Allied nations closed their embassies in Budapest, their remaining affairs were conducted through the embassies of neutral nations such as Sweden, Switzerland, and Portugal, such procedures being a normal diplomatic function during extraordinary times. The Embassy of Portugal handled communications and other minimal business between Hungary and the United States. Ambassador Garrido, 58 when he met Magda, soon became her lover and, according to some accounts, her fiancé. Given Magda's underground activities, it is possible that her job at the Portuguese embassy served as a front, with the collaboration of the ambassador and other embassy staff. Although Portugal's dictator, António Salazar, ran an authoritarian right-wing government, he seems to have approved the humanitarian efforts of his diplomats in Hungary and elsewhere. Jolie, leaving aside her usual flightiness, recalled daily life in Hungary from 1942 until March 1944. We were still relatively unharmed in Budapest, she said, but everyone knew it was just a matter of time. Once a week, during those years, the Tillemann family gathered for a dinner party, sometimes at the home of Franska, the matriarch, at other times at Jolie's, at one of Jolie's sisters, or at the home of their brother, Szabestin. Some of our rapid-fire compulsive talking was from nerves, Jolie admitted, though she delighted to regale her family with every particle of Eva's work in Hollywood and of Zsa Zsa's marital triumph. Many years later, Jolie remembered a small detail from the last family dinner before catastrophe. Overcome by nerves to the point of hysteria, she drank her own champagne, reached for her sister's, then her brother's, until finally someone at the table complained she was acting like a silly child, and she slumped in her chair and fell silent. A week later, everyone seated at that table wore a yellow star pinned on their clothing each time they went into the street. The arrival of Nazi invaders turned life upside down for the Tillemanns, the Gabors, and for virtually everyone else in Hungary. Everybody was afraid, Jolie said. Nobody could trust anybody. There was no food, no water. It became apparent that we, too, were in danger. Vilmos, because he was known as anti-Nazi. Magda was marked because of her work for the underground. Whether Vilmos had spoken out against the Nazis was really beside the point. Jolie was disingenuous. Whatever else she might count against them, the family was in grave danger because they were Jews. Nazis did not distinguish between observant and secular, assimilated or not. For a time, the Jews of Budapest lived on a knife edge of worry, desperation, and near panic. Then they fell over the edge. In California, no news from Hungary had reached Zsa Zsa and Eva for several months. For a time after the Portuguese embassy took over U.S. interests, Magda sent letters from herself, Jolie, and others in the Gabor and Tillemann families. These letters left Budapest in diplomatic pouches and carried Lisbon postmarks.